YouTube, welcome. This is a level 233 Idle Heroes account with 6 Transcendence heroes. I want you to imagine for a moment what that means. We have 27.5 million gold. That is years and years of gold stacking. Resources, so many resources, but only 5,000 gems. Is this going to be a good account, or is it going to be a disaster? Well, you guessed it. Welcome to this flaming turd fest of one of the most questionable Idle Heroes accounts I've seen in a long time. I haven't made a video like this in years, because most of you that join me for account reviews have good accounts. This is not the case. What we have right here is Zemu's account, where he got a little bit confused. So today we're going to be telling you some of the big mistakes that Zemu has made so that you know not to make those mistakes, and also you can have a laugh at him in the process. Zemu's a good sport. He said be as cruel and as mean as you want because he's here to learn as well. So let's immediately address one of the big problems we have right now. We have this. Our Star Swordsman Mockman at Destiny level 1, giving him divine power. You know what? Mockman is a perfectly reasonable hero. He's even got B- here, 4,000 in attack. It's not great. Crit damage reduction. I mean, it's not skill damage, is it? It's not the best Awaken I've ever seen. And really, if I was going to tell someone, hey, you should use Mockman, you kind of want an A tier. This is going to be a difficult uphill struggle for our friend Zemu, but he's committed, he's made it happen, he's got himself a noble cause, so it seems like a silly idea for a free-to-play account to step backwards. But guys, there's so much more wrong with this than a Mockman. When you look at our situation for tenants, you realize the only Mockman tenant we have is a Void 3 Hyperspace Hunter Ailamak, and bro decided to upgrade HP. Attack is the most important stat on a Mockman. When you went to the imprint map, you don't have to do HP to be able to do imprint of strength. You can go straight to this. You do not need to upgrade this one. So actually, if you wanted to do this technically to optimize your attack stat at just Void 3, you would go and put everything in strength and ignore the imprint of life force. But also, if we go take a look at the Celestial Island, guys, look at how much of a mess this is. We've got 3 heroes in houses. Aspen, Mockman, Betty. Aspen has a nearly maxed out Halora house. What is going on here? He's only gaining 1.3. That's not that much attack. He's got this random Aspen in here too, giving us an extra 209,000. But if you look at the Mockman, he's sitting on a nearly fully upgraded Ailamak. But the Ailamak house is good. The Ailamak copy is not. What we would want here is an upgraded Ailamak, a Tree of Origin 5, so that we can get loads of attack onto Mockman. If you're a Mockman user, I don't care if you're free to play or a spender, you want as much attack on the Mockman. So splitting yourself across Lord of Fear Aspen and Mockman is a huge mistake, because it's making both of the heroes bad, because neither of them are being committed to. And then finally, we've got Betty in here for some reason. We don't even have houses. You just decided, hey, let's put her in a house and give her nothing else. You didn't even build the additional buildings. So I don't know why you put her in here. I guess it's just so that you can waste 1,000 gems removing her at some point. I don't know. It's a weird choice. But either way, she's in there for some unknown, completely illogical reason. Maybe it's just so she can have a crown on her head. I haven't got an understanding at all. On the topic of wasting gems as well, we have 5,000 gems right here only on the account. That is such a low number. And currently, whilst I'm recording this video, even though I'm fully aware this will have ended on YouTube by the time I upload this vid, this is the Dragon Boat Festival. And bro decided to spend all of his gems here to max out these interviews. I think it's like 24,000 gems to do this. That was not the play, bro. We've got some big events coming up, like Anniversary, and you were like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna blow all my gems on this. Bro, we need gems. We need gems so bad. Oh, that is heartbreaking. Now, if we look at other stuff going on here for Mockman, Mockman is gonna need some firepower, bro. And I don't think Aspen's the choice. Like, if I was using a Mockman early on, I would want an Aspen alongside him for crowd control. Betty can also fill that role. That's fine. But ultimately, you want to pivot away as soon as you have multiple Transcendence heroes into having Mockman with Ayla Max. Scarlet Queen Halora is great. I'll hand you that. She's a really good pick. If you've got a build for speed, you can make her faster than the Mockman so she can put out Abyssal Corruption. That's how you should be building your Scarlet Queen Halora. So all in all, this is actually a perfectly reasonable thing to do. I like this choice. You don't have Sublimation on Crimson Abyss, though. I would want that. Have you actually got Sublimation on Aspen? You do. Oh, dear. Yeah, that to me tells me more that I want to get rid of Aspen. And I asked Zemu about this Aspen, and it's because he was a Mockman user and then saw some videos about Aspen, so decided, oh, well, I guess I got to build him then. It means you've split yourself too thin, and that is not a good thing. On top of that, take a look at the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Transcendence heroes, and only 3 of them have even started to get upgrades in the Tree of Origin. That means we are probably extremely short on Stellar Shards. Yes, Bro has made the mistake of picking up Crystals of Transcendence, which has allowed us to get another Transcendence hero, but why? This Vesa doesn't do anything. This is a useless hero to have on the account, and Bro just has an Origin artifact. It's not even the good ones. It's not Grimoire. It's not Gun. You picked the worst one. You chose Exotic Shield. I don't know why, but you're going to have to frickin' swap this. Hopefully there's a swap event at Anniversary and you can turn that shield into a gun and actually start making some frickin' progress. But yikes, dude. What is going on here? This Vesa is achieving nothing. If you were going to have just an unupgraded Transcendence hero, bro, I'd go with an Alakita. At least she's got a death passive. That's pretty useful. But the Vesa? No logic to that decision at all. If you also want to see something hilarious, guys, we look at the Glory Challenge. Scroll to the bottom. He hasn't done Light. Oh boy, that's not even unusual, guys. But when we look at why, it's because he's got no Light heroes. There are events that come up, specifically at Chinese New Year and Anniversary, where you can swap heroes from the Light faction to the Dark, vice versa. What Bro's done is every time he has a Light hero, he's used that event, and now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Darks at least 10 star, 5 if you count Aspen, 6 if you count Mockman. Bro is so heavy on the Dark faction, but without having any Light heroes at all. That's borderline Idle Heroes racism. We need Light heroes. We need them to do the Glory Challenge. You're missing out on key rewards. You've just neglected the entire Light faction like it doesn't exist. What if you need a Natalie? Natalie's really good. She's such a strong support hero. And you haven't got any Light heroes at all. And that's really sad. Wukong is another option, and he works really, really well alongside a Mockman. Because unlike Betty, he's giving bonuses to the damage of Mockman. Wukong can increase your holy damage. He can improve your survivability with shields. Both of them are crowd control heroes, but Wukong has a tiny bit more synergy. Not that I don't like Betty. Betty's very, very good. But personally, for a Mockman account, I might consider Wukong a little bit more. So it's a bit upsetting that we're in this situation. Now, if we look at the Light heroes, at some point, he even had a 10-star Natalie. I do not know what happened to this Natalie copy. I don't know if you fed it. I don't know if you swapped it. But you got rid of one of the best Transcendence heroes in the game. And I don't know why. So Zemu, some very questionable things going on here. Folks, hopefully, if you decide to use Mockman, you guys know the importance of having Natalie. She is your best second homeowner, and she also synergizes brilliantly with Melissa, who is technically in the Forest faction, but once you transcend her, she's a Transcendence hero, and Melissa is a Tenant for Natalie, so that you can enjoy Mockman with Natalie. Now, if you want to be extra spicy, getting them to A tier is also really good, because a Natalie A tier can kill bosses, and Mockman is really good at killing everything else. Together, the synergy is beautiful. So what we have right now is a really, really wonky account where we've got heroes that aren't quite making too much sense. What I'd want is this Ayla upgraded, I'd want this Aspen gone, and I'd want to be bringing in Natalie and Melissa, and Vesa can just get the heck out of here. Obviously, we need more Stellar Shards to make that happen. That is one big oversight this account has done. So I'm going to go take a look. What rewards have you claimed during the Dragon Boat Festival? You've claimed Stellar Shards? Yo! At least he's actively trying to fix it. Why are you going for Core of Origin Shards, though? Bro, you need subs, dude. You're desperate for sublimation. Like, that's the most important thing right here. Ignore. Do not go for Core of Origins. We want sublimation. Because I know you've gone and got this noble Core of Origin for Star Mockman. That's fine. But Star Swordsman Mockman is not your priority. I don't know why you got a Lord of Fear Aspen core. That's very questionable. Are you just trying to get a core for Betty? Is that what's going on here? Bro! You don't even have a core for Betty! Oh, mate, I think it's going to get even worse. What artifact is she wearing? Melodic? At least that gives her energy. Where is your elusive mirror? Oh! No! No! Ah! Punisher of a mortal? Dude, why? Oh, what is going on? Okay, here's the situation, bro. Our artifacts are not looking good. If we just get a collective look at them in the Almost Workshop, we don't have elusive mirror. If you're going to be running a Betty in 2025, ladies and gentlemen, you need to know how Betty works. If you look at the bag, go to artifacts, and go read Elusive Mirror, I want to draw your attention to this sentence. At the end of each round, restores all allies 15 energy. So, if you look at Betty's abilities, when she gets more than 100 energy, it will trigger Scarlet Therapy, which is her active skill. This allows her to crowd control opponents. This is why we like Elusive Mirror, because at the end of the round, it's going to feed her that energy. And what's really cool is the timing window of this ability is after the round counters reset, but before the start of the new round. So what that means is when Betty says she can only do this once each time around, that counter has reset before Elusive Mirror triggers. Which means the reset happens, she gains energy, it now can trigger because the timer's back to 0, which means you can crowd control opponents. It also triggers after Purify has had a chance to take effect. So the enemies are not able to remove the crowd control that Betty puts on them, which means they spend the entire next round crowd controlled. Do you know what happens when enemies get twined? Betty feeds energy to herself. You can see restores 10 energy for every one twined enemy. Combine that with some demon bells and the fact Elusive Mirror feeds energy, Betty's gonna gain more, and crowd control again, and crowd control again, and crowd control again. And the enemies can't do a thing about it, because she keeps crowd controlling them, because Elusive Mirror, at the end of every round, keeps putting her above 100 energy. People in 2025 are still making this mistake. They are building Bettys with no Elusive Mirror and complaining that their Betty isn't very good. Please don't be like Simu. If you're going to build a Betty, you need to have Elusive Mirror and you need to have her core. The reason the core is good is because the core gives you multiple triggers of her ability to control whenever she releases her active skill. This means you get twice the chance of crowd controlling them, which means you're more likely to wipe the whole wave in a blanket of twine, which means they can't attack. So we like Betty's core, we like Elusive Mirror for the consistent triggers, and it's extremely good. So if you're a person wanting to use Betty with your team in 2025, you absolutely 100% need to have Elusive Mirror to make sure the Betty functions well. She is a cheap, easy hero. You do not need any higher than Tree of Origin 1 because that's all you need to equip the core. Yes, you will see people level her up higher. That is just so you can double the amount of energy she gains when enemies get twined. Also, there's added bonuses here you can see where she gets even more energy. Pretty good when you upgrade those two passives. Gotta admit, it makes her energy feed way more consistent, and it means she's able to do very, very nicely in the Void Vortex. Other than that, though, Tree of Origin 1 is typically the way to go, especially if you don't have the sublimation to justify a Tree of Origin 5 Betty, or the Spiritual Essence and Stellar Shards to get to that point. So if I was you, I would absolutely pick up Elusive Mirror to make sure this Betty works and get her core. If not, probably consider switching her for a Wukong, but even then you'll still want Elusive Mirror because that's such a good artifact for him. The biggest glaring problem though with this account is the fact we don't have a lot of resources to flexibly change our situation. You can see we've got a few weird chests. We've got the occasional core chest, which I think you just managed to pick up this week. So that's potentially half of your core for Betty. So you're getting there at least. But right now, we just don't have a lot of artifacts by the looks of things. And the ones that you do have are questionable. I like that you have Melodic. I like that you have a fully upgraded Demon Bell. Let's get Elusive Mirror and let's try push for another Demon Bell. Anytime you get an artifact chest or the relics, Demon Bell is the way to go. We just won't talk about your deific shield. I have no idea why you picked this up. Maybe you just didn't know what you were doing. Well, not maybe. You definitely didn't know what you were doing. This was not the right pick, unfortunately. Such a high value item as well to get it wrong. That is a huge shame. But maybe there's a swap event during Anniversary where you can change this into a pistol. And then you feel alright about it. And then it's good. But yikes, you really hate the fact that you're going to have to spend gems to do that. And you know what we don't have a lot of right now? Freaking gems! So, bro, your account is a bit of a mess, and the severe lack of resources is going to make it even harder to fix, especially when you look at our soul symbols. Only 20 of them. So what you need to do, you need to get more soul symbols, you need to get more stellar shards, you need some copies of Natalie and Light Heroes, and you want to try and build yourself a Melissa if you can. Cut down the Aspen, build in those heroes, Natalie and Melissa, and your Mockman will be at least a little bit better. Also, by prioritizing the upgrades on Ailamak, you'll improve the attack of Mockman. And remember, if you guys are a Mockman user, the single most important stat for a Mockman is his attack. The more attack you have on Mockman, the more burst he can do, the better it is for him to kill things. Yes, you want high crit damage and a decent crit chance, but I probably wouldn't go upgrading crit in here, and it looks like you haven't. That's a good thing. Skill damage, very good pick here. Excellent for a Mockman. The more skill damage you have is good. And Melissa or Natalie first. I think he doesn't really have a choice. He can't really build Natalie here. We have the ability to build both, to be honest. We have lots of Transcendence heroes here, but I think Melissa is better. Melissa can remove crowd control, which is going to break free your Mockman. She also decreases the defenses of the opponents if she's able to go before Mockman. That will improve his burst. Natalie gives buffs to the highest attack hero, so you can start to see the synergy here. We get Abyssal Corruption coming out from Scarlet Queen Halora. We get the huge stat buffs from Natalie, all going into your Mockman, and Melissa has the ability to strip away the defenses of the enemies, which all results in a ton of extra damage to your Mockman, and it increases the chance that he kills things. So we want to take the power of these heroes higher so that that is possible. Now, if we quickly look at your tree, you obviously have 120 here on the Mockman. I think you're a little bit too zealous getting him to Destiny, to be honest. We need the Stellar Shards, and we probably want the Spiritual Essence as well. I would take him down only to Tree of Origin 5. I think you've gone a little bit too far. And if we look at your Aspen, I'm going to guess he's 120 as well. Yeah, this is way too much of an investment. We are wasting Stellar Shards and wasting Spiritual Essence by being this high. There is no benefit to level 120. The reason we like going to level 100 is because it means we can fully upgrade a hero to 400 here, maximizing their speed and their stats. If you go to level 120 in the tree, all that does is get you a few extra stats like attack and HP, but it's a very small amount in the grand scheme of things. So just stay at level 100, save the resources, and put them into other heroes. 100 means you can still max your subs and you can still max your speed stat. That's all that matters. If we move on to your other heroes as well, we got Scarlet Queen Halora. At least she is just level 100, so you've done that right, and that's okay. But there are more opportunities to improve the account, obviously. And I think once you tidy those things up and you get yourself some better heroes, I think you'll be okay. Zemu, this is easily one of the ugliest accounts I've seen in quite some time. You've made a lot of mistakes here, but it is not beyond repair. I think committing in Mockman, getting some damage, and getting a Natalie that's well established is definitely the way forward. Try and improve your Celestial Island if you can, focusing all into Mockman, and then eventually build a second home, put Natalie in there, bring in Melissa, and the two of those heroes will work really well to make your Mockman super duper powerful. Will it be the best account in the world? Absolutely not. B-tier Mockmen are suffering in the meta right now. A-tier Mockmen are flourishing. You'll even see the market has almost been stripped of all A-tier Mockmen. They're having a huge renaissance right now as one of the best damage dealers in Void campaign. However, he's still a decent hero, and he gets better with age. He's like fine wine, because the bigger you can make that attack stat, the better you can make that Mockman, which is why early players will struggle, because obviously it's hard to put stats on heroes. But as your train increases, as your progress increases, as your tenants improve and you get Destiny, and eventually even, I know it's a far way away, but you get Star Souls, Nirvana, all that stuff, Mockman gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And if there's one thing the girls will tell you about Mockman, when he gets big, it's a good time. So hopefully you guys got some advice from this video and got to see some of the craziness that's going on some other accounts. Maybe it's made you feel a bit better about your account, because there are people out there who do make silly choices, like blowing gems that they don't need to, picking up artifacts that make no sense, or building heroes that questionably don't synergize with each other. People still to this day are building Betty's wrong, and they still go to level 120 in the tree, and they're still building heroes to Destiny before they have a fully established account. Only upgrade to Destiny once you have way too many resources that you don't know what to do with. It's a privilege, not a right. Remember that. You only really should be focusing Destiny if you're super flush on resources and you're not quite there with everything else, or you have 6 Transcendence heroes, maybe 7. So good luck to everybody. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. And for more videos like this one, I hope to bring you some more. The more accounts I find that need help, I'll try and make more stuff like this, so subscribe. More things will be coming in the future. But until then, have an amazing week, and happy idling.